I
Yeah.
think is good. Is good now, whether you're a Buddhist or a Muslim or you believe in Judaism or you're a Sikh or a Christian or a Catholic Christian or whatever. To find that faith, when I meet Christians or meet people of faith, especially the ones that are genuine ones, not the ones that use it for their own initial gain, I see a joy in their face that I don't see in many other people.
Do you
And
feel that the information is swaying people away from faith?
oh,
So that
definitely.
they're focusing mainly on what they can see. Is that there's a limit to that though, isn't there? Surely.
Yes. I totally agree. It's faith. My mate Lloyd is same as you, very big Christian. I've worked with him. He's an actor, he's a very good actor, and his faith has never wandered. And even when I said times when he talks to me, he goes, "I still pray for you, Tony. I know you'll come back eventually." And I sort of say, "I went to church. I loved Baptist churches, and I went to them, and I enjoyed them, and they
Yeah.
were mainly, and it was brilliant. The singing, white Baptist group, anything, and it was, I was enjoying it, and I look at people that believe in spiritualism and they believe in God and all that, and I think it's a kind of jealousy, in such a way that why can't I, why can't I believe like you believe, and and maybe that's a letting go. Maybe that will take me letting go of the business to be able to do that again. Um, right?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yep.
When we got our first Ferguson video song, my dad said, "I can't believe I used to have to go to the penny pictures to go and watch the pictures, and now all I've got to do is put a tape in and watch any film I want." And that was in 50 odd years. Think how far we've come since then. And all right, we haven't made giant steps, but my God, we have made. Look what we're doing now. This was all science fiction to us when I was a kid. We never believed this could happen. And I think when it comes to religion and everything, I think they're saying because we can't prove there isn't a thing. Even listen to someone like Ricky Gervais, he said, "I don't know." He said, even listening to Neil deGrasse, who I'm a massive fan of, he said, "I don't know. I can't tell you no." He said, "Because I don't know." He said, "I can tell you maybe what happened a couple of seconds before, but I don't know." He said,
But it's interesting because
and that is faith, and to have that faith. I
yeah.
think,
Do you think people have lost their hope?
I always say in the film is, "Don't tell God your plans." It's a line. Don't tell, if you want a good laugh, don't tell God your plans. And this is something I also think is true, but it's not. It is absolutely not. Life happens, and in being given free will by God, He's got to allow you to fail. Because if you do fail, I always learn something from the failure. There's
I think
always, and that is what I think is important.
Yeah, yeah. I think the problem we have as well is that we construe death as the end all and be all and end all, and in fact, death is the beginning of life. Would you agree with that?
I don't know. You've asked me $1 million question there. I hope
Right.
so. I
Yeah. I
hope
mean,
so.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
we hope so.
It's
But
funny because I was speaking to one of the actors, and we was talking about energy, and he was saying that energy doesn't dissipate. Energy goes from one form to another. So we have a physical energy, and that then transfers
talking,
into a spiritual energy.
you
So
listen
in
to Neil
fact, I
deGrasse.
think there's this big stigma over death, and in fact, death is the
When
beginning of life. Do you know what I mean?
you imagine when we die, the molecules and the atoms and everything else that went together to make us doesn't die. They just dissipate.
Yeah,
They go somewhere else. So in the actual fact, that's what happens. They
yeah,
go back in the
exactly.
ground. Something else occurs. So it does go
Did
on.
your generation ever talk about mental health, or was it silence?
Never, never,
You never talked about it.
never at all. It was
Did
only as I got
anyone
on.
suffer from mental health in your time?
Probably, probably
Right.
loads of them. Probably, and the people I write about, and the sort of genre I write about, there's probably an awful lot of those people that suffer with mental illness. I can't believe when I used to talk to my mum and dad, God rest their souls and everything. I can
Yeah.
make, and we hear about this terrible. And my dad grew up in London from 1939 to 90. Well, to he left in 19. Well, from 1929 right away from. He went through not knowing if his friends and family were going to be alive the following day, knowing
Right.
that half his street was blown down. And I thought that, and I look how they are, and I used to think, if that happened now, there'd be so many kids on post-stress disorder. There'd be so many people claiming that they can't cope. How the hell? And with absolute right to, we talk about how the hell did they cope with that?
Yeah.
My dad saying that. Oh, remember with my dad when he said, "Oh yeah, the Greens lived there." I said, "Oh, what happened to him?" He said, "Oh, the house got blown up, killed them all."
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
went, "Yeah." He went, "Yeah, it's a shame, lovely family." He went, and the Bethnal Green disaster, the bombs, the things like. And to him, and then he was on national service, and my father-in-law was in D-Day, and you think, how on earth did they cope with that? But
Yeah.
they did. For some reason, they knew how to cope with it. For some reason, whether they put it to the back of their mind, they cope with it. I don't think they ever got over it.
Yeah.
But as I said about that, I don't think we understand enough. As soon as there's a problem now, it becomes a major problem. It's
Yeah.
not right. I've got a problem. I've got problems. You've got problems. But I'm always thinking, how do I get over this? Because in trying to get over the problem, I'm giving myself an outlet. I'm giving myself an opportunity. And if it doesn't work, I'll have to find another way.
It almost seems that the technology that's been offered to us is actually making us a lot weaker, when in fact it should be enabling us to do so many different things. I mean, we just
Totally
press a
agree with you.
button, we've got so much information. What do you
I
think about
totally agree with you.
AI? What do you
Yeah.
think about AI?
I don't like it in our industry, although I can see where it helps. But I don't think you should be doing AIs of people that have gone just to make. All right, I can understand certain things if they need to repeat in a part of a film and that. But I don't like the idea that everything becomes. I see a lot of these posters suddenly come up on Facebook, which is AI generated, and somebody done one of ours and put this AI thing, and they put a head in it that wasn't even there, and it was like, who's that supposed to be? And it was a nice poster, but it was good. But and because what it does, it's painting by numbers. We can all paint by numbers. We can all get the sheet paint, and what we get, it may not be exactly the same, but it's basically the same picture. If we have too much AI, we lose the creativity. We lose somebody that's going to say this. If you create AI, how do you create how you feel when you see your firstborn child? How do you create when you're that grief, when you lose somebody special? How do you understand how much special that person was in AI? You can put all the information in, but what's it like to wake up in the morning and suddenly see a flower bloom? I know that sounds ridiculous,
No, it's
or,
very
or
true,
watch
very
animals,
valid points.
but to
Yeah.
actually see or stand on the top of a mountain like I did not and look over Lanzarote, to actually be there and feel that. How do you explain to somebody, an AI machine, how I felt at that moment?
Yeah.
I can tell him how I felt.
Yeah.
He's never going to know how I felt. I mean, there's a song called Monsters that James Blunt sings, and it's you're not my father, I'm not your son, we're just two men. And every time I hear it, I get tears in my eyes.
Yeah. As
That's
a
because
as a
that
leader,
comes from somebody who's genuine. That comes from somebody who's genuine grief. Can
as a
I?
le- as
May
a
I
leader, as a leader, Tony, do you see yourself? Do you see young men struggling differently now?
definitely, definitely. I honestly
In
see.
what way?
Um, it's just life. They're not young people are not being brought up with those life skills that make you that inner strength inside you that make you want to overcome it. You know, you hear so many stories about young men killing themselves, and it's
Yeah.
mostly men, and
Yeah.
then men my age, and you know, my age who give up. I never heard about suicides now. I mean, I'm hearing far more deaths as I'm getting older. I've lost so many very good friends in the last 6 weeks. It's been incredible, but they've had their reasons. They've been ill,
Yeah.
but God, did they fight? God,
Yeah.
did they fight all the way to the end? And it seems
Apparently,
to
I
me
heard it's
that
like 14 out of every 1,000.
yeah,
45 to 60-year-olds. So that's quite a high number. It's quite a high percentage. Well, why do you
yeah. I
think
mean,
why do you think they do that? Why do they give up? Is it because they're chasing something?
I think exactly it. They give up. I mean, look at someone like Robin Williams who had his life, and because he suddenly thought he had that disease and he wouldn't be able to do what he used to do, he killed himself. And you're thinking, well, if he can do that, and he's got all the opportunities that would be open to him, and he can't cope with it. Well, how am I supposed to cope with it?
So
And
just
when
let me
you,
stop you there. Let me just stop you there, Anthony. So, as you said that you heard something, like you heard Robin Williams committed suicide, unalived himself. Let's just choose a safer
yeah,
word. Unalived
yeah.
himself. Do you think that passing that information is detrimental to other people who are perhaps susceptible to, unaliving themselves?
Unfortunately, if it's the truth, it cannot be detrimental. But from him doing that, a lot of his friends got into the mental health side. It's been realised that how much he suffered with mental health, how much he suffered with depression, and that it's not just the local bloke working at the store every day, trying to keep his roof over his head and his wife and 3 kids happy. It's mental health affects everybody. It affects everybody, and the problem is when somebody famous does it, you think, oh, about if he outlived. Well, for him, not being worried about not being able to do what he could do every day, what he'd done all his life. That's it, and that's the problem. It's not being able to cope with not being able to do your stuff. I mean,
Mm.
some people, I hear people saying, "Oh, if I went blind, I'd kill myself. If I couldn't walk, I'd kill myself." And then you watch the Paralympics and watch these people do amazing things, and you think,
Yeah,
"Well, no, you could still do it." You know, Christopher Reeves, his great friend, lost the paraplegic, and he still
yeah.
kept up.
Remember
And
that.
I find that that's some strength.
Yeah.
That's some that really is some strength.
So would
And
you
I
say?
hope that I had that sort of strength as well.
So would you say that in the reverse of that, and hearing Robin Williams commit suicide,
We're
would
running
it be
out
a
of
fair?
battle in a minute, yeah.
Yeah, would it be a fair statement to say that if something positive was to come out from example Robbie Williams, that
Listen,
that would also have equally the same effect in the opposite
yes.
way?
Instead of taking the negatives out of everything, we should look at the positives.
Right,
What do we learn from it?
right.
What
Few questions I
mistakes?
have for you. Few ending questions, Anthony. I know you're in a rush, and we thank you
Oh,
so
and I'm
much for
running
your
out of
time.
battery. That's all. That's the thing.
Right. Okay. We'll presume this at a later date, certainly. But if you were sitting across from a 25-year-old, what would you tell him about emotional strength? Very quickly, in a few words.
Um, I wish I knew. I really wish I knew, but I'd tell him to say, listen, don't worry. No matter how bad things can get, you're
Right.
still alive, you're still breathing. While you're breathing and while you're living, you've still got opportunities. It may
Amen.
seem bad today, but as the film, last line of the film, tomorrow's another day. You don't give up just before the miracle.
Right.
That's what my drama teacher you said. Tomorrow could be the day you get the phone call that bang changes your life. Don't give it, and that's what I do. Every day is a new day. Something else might
Faith.
happen.
That's faith, right?
And that is faith.
What advice would you give young men today about phones, comparison culture, and social media? In a few words.
In a few words, don't rely on them. Use them. Use them. Don't let them use you. You use
Oh,
them
wow, that's
for your
powerful.
benefit, but don't let them use you. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, hoping to get a different result. Don't
Fantastic.
let that control your life.
Last question,
Yeah,
and thank you for your time. What is true strength in a man?
being there,
Being there.
being there for others, being there for your family, being there for that, being there for yourself.
Andy Longhurst, appreciate you. Thank you so much.
I'll see you soon.
Thank you for your time, and we hope to resume this at a later date. Again, we'll have a part 2 because you have a wealth of information that is really beneficial to our audience, and we thank you so much, Anthony.
Carl.
Thanks very much. God bless.
See you soon. Tell them, mate. Bye.